Hoping this works. Oh, it does work. Okay, good. Welcome back to Three Things You Need to Know, sponsored by Abitano Real Estate. Hey, I'm Vito Scarnecchia. I know you don't care, but today we're talking about three things you need to know about buying, living, and investing in Silicon Valley. The whole idea behind this is to help get you on the knowledge path so you can make your own decisions if buying or selling real estate is a smart thing. That's what it is, right? And we also take a look at larger picture ideas because as much as, my hubris would like to say that real estate is the do all be all of all things, it's not. It's a very small, well, it's a very large cog in the GDP. It's also affected by multiple industries. So what we talk about today on Three Things You Need to Know is what the other industries are doing, other things you can do to help increase the value of your home, or if you're buying a house, etc., and as well as talking about something called financial intelligence. It's a great segue, huh? It's almost like I practiced this. Now, why am I telling you this? Because yesterday we did our first video interview with Patrick McAndrew, who is a financial planner, and we talked about all things life, right? And how different little strategies help people, right? We're not trying to pitch you. We're not trying to sell you on anything. We're just trying to get you our experiences so that we can raise the boat of professional services. Now, professional services is anywhere from insurance, law practice, taxes, accounting, real estate, lending, banking, right? All sorts of different things. So we bring these things together so we can help you as, a professional on your own side, whether you're an engineer or a salesperson or marketing or a CEO. We help level or raise the boat of financial intelligence. So I'm really excited about it. There's a link down below if you want to watch it. I'd really love it if you would. And share it, please. All right. The next thing, 12 things your neighbors can screw. 12 ways your neighbors can screw up your home sale. I love this. This is such a great article because it happens all the time. People don't think about it, right? Like, oh, Johnny next door is moving. That's good for him. Well, I'm just going to keep my truck on the cinder blocks. Guys, don't do that. Look, here's the thing. I don't care if you're a renter or an owner. Look, take care of your yard, right? I had a home that I was selling. It was in Hollister, and the owner next door refused to cut his lawn. And I'm like, would you let me do it? It's like, no, don't step on my property. I want my lawn. I'm like, why? Well, because I don't want anybody touching it. I go, if this will reflect on us selling the house next door, which means we're going to get a lower value, which is going to affect the value of your house. Still don't want you to do it. All right, guy. I get it. Whatever. People have their little reasons, but that's it, right? Yes. Dude, here's the thing. Well, today is a little different than what it was back in 2008 to 2012, right? Back then, the vultures would circle around foreclosed homes, and you would not get it doesn't matter if you're on notice of default or you're completely foreclosed on or what have you, that house will not sell for as much as a standard sale. It just isn't, because there's going to be a stigma behind it. So let's say you fall behind on your payments and you're like, I need to sell this house. Okay, great. Guess what? A notice of default is filed by the bank, as they're legally supposed to do. That means your house is worth less, and you have to disclose everything transparent, everything material to the transaction. So you have to let the buyer know that you're in foreclosure or you've been served a notice of default. It's on the prelim. Everybody's going to know anyway. that's going to reduce the value of your home. So if you're thinking about selling and you're struggling with payments right now, pull your head out of the sand. Don't be that ostrich and sell your house now. Get rid of it, because it's better to sell now versus later. Let's talk about that real quick. If the market crashes, it's better to sell now versus later, right? Okay, so let's go back to that. Noisy neighbors. Oh, I love that. So my children are older. They don't squeal with joy all the time, which I miss dearly. Honestly, I loved my children being outside and playing, and I remember all those great times. The neighbors behind us and the neighbors to the next of us has trampolines. The guys behind us have a pool, and they have young kids, and they play and they squeal and they laugh with joy, and it's so amazing to listen to. And some people would be like, that's annoying, and that's cruel. As a matter of fact, the neighbors next to us, right over here, we took our trampoline and gave it to them because we wanted them to play with it. They would come over to our house and play with it. And we want them to play. We want kids to play. Arguing is another thing, right? Playing loud music is another thing, right? My neighbor, a couple doors down, smokes. Here's the thing. It's your house. I get it. But if your house is for sale next door, do yourself a favor and don't smoke, because you're just going to piss off a couple neighbors. Because here's the thing. If you're looking at an open house, right, and you go through and then you go outside and you smell smoky smell, you're like, oh no, non-starter. So you just push people away. So if you smoke next door, just wait until it goes. Try to do it certain times, right? I get it. It's your house. Semi-guilty. My dogs bark, but my dogs bark because they want to play with you. I don't care if you're a human, a dog, or a cat. They just want to play, right? They understand that this thing is the way that is. And as annoying as it is for me, as embarrassing sometimes it is for me when they go up to other dogs and they bark. It's just the way. I don't know how to bark. I mean, I'm not the greatest dog owner, but if you have dogs that are outside on a leash and they charge people all the time, that's just kind of dumb. And two, you're not supposed to be having dogs do that. That's kind of wrong. So pull your dogs inside. Here's the thing. You need to bring your trash cans in. We don't have that problem here. We have a problem with illegal dumping, and that's become a common problem. Did you know in San Jose, you can call your recycle company and they will come and pick up large items. So there's no reason for you to dump a mattress on the side of the road, other than the fact that you're stupid and ignorant. And yes, I'm drawing the line there. I'm calling you stupid and ignorant. Learn yourself. Stop being an idiot and doing illegal things when there's no reason for you to dump a mattress on the side of the road in San Jose when you can pick this up yourself. Call them up and say, hey, Mr. Recycle Company, I have a mattress or I have a refrigerator. Can you come by, pick it up? Take care of it. Be adults. Well, register sex offender is one thing, but other than that, your records are sealed, right? I mean, people do stupid stuff. I get it. I tell people that you have the right and obligation to look at the Megan's Law list and know where registered sex offenders are, and you should, especially if you're, if you have young children. But understand that when you know that, you have to disclose it. I'll leave it there. Oh yeah, this goes back to the long grass, right? If you have curb appeal, guys, I've actually weeded neighbors' houses to make it my listing look better. I've cleaned up around. I won't paint your house, but look, if your house is in disrepair and I'm moving into $1 million house, I'm going to choose another house, right? And that's just going to hurt it. And you're just being lazy and cheap. And take care of your house, because when you come into the point where, let's say that you die or you decide to sell your house, you're going to have to take care of that. And if I look at a house like that, I'm going to make sure that there's no termite issues, or there's no water damage, or there's no problems. And that's just going to wind up costing you more later. So take care of it now. Yeah. I have a lot of friends that have these. I had a neighbor that had one and caused a lot of problems. If you have that RV, park it in your driveway, period. I get it. If you have that, you should also invest in a parking lot or a storage area down the street, because that's, you don't need to have that hanging out there. I sold a house this year with something like any functioning adult. I sold a house this year, and the lady refused to move her little political thing. And I'm like, look, you do what you do, right? I'm not saying not to do it. You have the freedom and right to do that, but you might turn some buyers off, right? And I don't care what side of the aisle but whatever. I don't care, whatever it is. But if you do that, you're going to turn some buyers off. So good luck with it. Don't come back to me and say it's my fault that your house isn't selling, or it's not selling where you think it is, because whatever. I mean, ego will ruin the sale of a house. It's the number one reason why houses don't sell is hubris. Yeah. Well, I have a home-based business. I mean, this is my business. But okay, I get it. You have an indoor gym. A lot of the guys, I go to the gym all the time, and a lot of the trainers, they have home-based businesses. They have gyms, and I have a small gym in my garage. It's not a business. I do it because when we shut down for COVID, I started investing in buying equipment, and I started doing it because whatever it is. But that kind of stuff, may or may not appease to a certain type of buyer, right? Our job is to show you that you should open yourselves up and offer your house to as many types of buyers as possible. And we have different types of buyer demographics that we can talk about. When we go to sell your house, we kind of devise a story and an avatar as to who we're going to sell the house to. Not what kind of a person, right? Because that's discrimination, but who is going to buy your house? Is it somebody that is going to love your house, or is it going to be an investor that's going to come and fix your house? Who is your target demographic, and how can we best market to them, right? Yeah, well, it's not the rude neighbor, but it's the guy that's telling you all the problems of the house next door, 5 doors down, and I, you know, Crampit. I can't remember on Bewitched. It was that nosy neighbor that's always looking out the window. Those guys are, they're good for a function because they take care of the neighborhood. I get that. But there's also the point where, I actually push my clients when I'm working with buyers. I go, hey, there's a neighbor there. Maybe you should go talk to him, see if you like him. Because guess what? You're going to be stuck with them for 5, 10, 15 years. So yeah, absolutely. Don't be overly neighborly, though. Okay. I'm going to shut these down as we go through it. 251 homes for sale in San Jose. That's not enough, guys. We need to be upwards of 800 just in San Jose. Okay, let's see what this is here. Is now the time to buy a rental property? Well, yeah, probably. I'm actually looking at buying property. My agents are looking at buying property. So, yeah, are you financially capable, right? So here's the thing. When you buy a house, it doesn't matter if the market's good or bad or hot or cold or whatever. when it's time for you to buy a house, for you, it shouldn't be an investment. It should be your house because it makes sense financially for you to buy a house, right? When you're ready to invest after you buy your house, or some would even say, Grant Cardone or what's that Texan guy that's in trouble right now? He would say, don't buy your own house, invest in a house first. And that's house hacking. You should absolutely consider that as an option, right? Buy your investments first and then buy a house when you can have it pay for itself. I don't know. Lots of different options. But typically what I see is people want to move into their own home. They're tired of paying rent and, they're ready to do that, right? Get your finances in order. Going back to financial intelligence, we have a home budgeting consultant that works with us, and she'll walk you through the entire process of understanding where you are, where you want to be, how to get there in a conservative way so that you could still go buy Starbucks and go on vacations, but you're saving, right? You're making choices. You're making conscientious choices towards buying your first house. I always say get a property manager, right? I think you being involved, you have ego, inexperience, etc. Finding the right property manager is huge, but having somebody as an intermediary is also better. You can do it yourself, absolutely. There's property man, but are you going to be willing to get up at night and take care of that hot water heater that just exploded? Are you willing to collect rent? Are you willing to evict somebody? Or are you willing to pay a small portion of your proceeds to somebody that will do that for you? Totally up to you, right? Condos, HOAs, townhouses, they all come with costs, but also restrictions. And you don't want to have a whole complex or development full of rentals. So HOAs sometimes put a restriction on how many renters you can have, rental units you can have, and it's typically 25%. And one is because of resale value, but two is because certain banks won't lend on houses or townhouses or condos if there's a certain portion or overabundance ratio of rentals, just so you know. Houses are great targets. Duplexes to fourplexes are great ways to get started, and they're safer because you still have income coming in. But you can buy 4 houses at the same time. If you're going to look at a fourplex versus 4 houses, it's virtually the same thing, right? So we can go through that if you ever have any questions. So have you added up all the expenses? I bought 6 duplexes at one time, and they didn't tell me that, oh, by the way, there's snow removal costs that I wasn't told about. It wasn't disclosed. And, you gotta think of all things. And that's part of learning, getting experienced, right? Yeah. One of the reasons why I don't buy in California is because there's the tenant laws, the landlord-tenant laws favor the tenant, and it's very difficult if you have a bad tenant. Am I going to sell this house? Probably not. Probably rent it, but who knows? You never know, right? With life. What are the expectations? What's your ROI? Are you thinking outside of the box? Also, what's your exit plan? I don't know if this is in there yet or not, but we bought one house without an exit plan. We didn't know what to do with it, and our partners and I had a little tiff about it. Have you done your due diligence on location? Yeah, that's why you need an agent to help you understand that, right? They know the areas, and they can't steer you, but they can absolutely tell you where the better areas are, right? If you're investing. Talk to your insurance people. Listen to our financial intelligence programs. It's podcast, video. It comes out once a week. Listen to this. Learn about landlord insurance, what you can buy, what you shouldn't buy, is it a waste of time? Should you just get an umbrella policy? There's a lot of different things that you have to really consider when you become an investor like that. Buy or borrow. I guess it's cash or borrow. Yeah, guys, totally up to you. There's so many different ways to look at it, right? God, what's that guy's name? That Texan guy that's in trouble now. He's saying you should never put a loan on a house. Well, it's $1 million house. I don't have $1 million to write a check. I'm sorry, but there's ways of leveraging, and there's all sorts of different programs and processes that we can teach you and write you up on that. It is risky, right? You might buy a house and put a bad tenant in there, and then 2 years later they destroy the house, and you've spent thousands of dollars having to evict them, and you're paying cash out every month. I mean, those are the things, right? Those are the risks you have to be aware of. So, all right, enough of that. HomeBot, you want to know what the value of your house is, pop that in. The link is down there. If you want information about financial intelligence, you want to get on an email list. We don't call you or bug you. It's not the point. The point is just to push that information towards you so you know what's going on. All right, let's see, look at the numbers here. Look, the median home value has actually increased again. So when we peaked, the median value peaked in July of last year, 416, right? Then it went down. Let's see, this is right here. Peaked right here, June, 413 now. It's actually 420 and went down to 416. No, it's 413. They're always adjusting these numbers, right? And we got down to 361, and now we're back up to 396. $400,000, guys. The median sales price of a house in the United States is $400,000. Crazy times. National Home Price Index, right here. It's continuing to go up and up and up. These gray areas are where the recessions happened, 2008. I want to say it went all the way to 2012, but what do I know? I'm not an economist. Days to sell over time. Santa Clara County single family homes is 17 days. If you look at that number, the lowest we had was 6 days on average, 6 days. And that was 2 years ago in 2021. Santa Clara County absorption rates, months of inventory. We have less than 1 month, 0.9 months of inventory for single family homes in Santa Clara County. The U.S. standard is 3 months right now. Doesn't mean that there's areas out there that are 9, 10, 12 months. Anything over 6 months is a buyer's market. And when I say we need to have a balanced market, that's what a balanced market is, about 5 to 6 months of inventory. Housing inventory listing count is 613 right here. See right here. See how the inventory was really high right here? Well, I wouldn't say really high. I would say that's a natural market, right? That's a natural, normal market. 2017, 2018. We actually saw a little slump in 2018. Wasn't called a recession, but our inventory is about half of where we need to be, which is why you're seeing all these reports on why the market is tanking. Sales are dwindling or slumping. Well, they're not. Let's go through this real quick. Let me show you why. Everything in green is from last year. Everything in white and beige. Beige is the automated ones, automated formulas for me so that I know that not to futz around with these. So we have 174 houses over 40 days on market, which is, it's good. We should have more. We have 251 for sale right now. That's on Realtor, and then the actual MLS feed shows 334. Okay. Closes last week, we had 74. Closes last week was 73. Average sales price last year is 1.7. Average sales price this year is 1.6. We're getting closer. We're at about $141,000 difference. Median sales price is $1.6 million. Our list price to sales price ratio this last week was 105%, almost 106% on average. Last year's average was 101. That's, guys, July is when we saw the market starting to slow down. We saw the market starting to go contract. Nobody listened. They're like, Vito, you're full of shit, blah, blah, blah. No, this is where it shows you. You're going to see these numbers go down below 100% next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, when you're looking at the green ones. That's where I'm saying we're out of the slump right now. Now, look, we're either pulling out of the slump right here, we're pulling out of the slump right here, we're pulling out of the slump right here. We don't know where we are, right? I can't tell you where we are. These charts are great for looking forward from a backwards perspective, but I can't tell you where we are right now, other than we could be in coming out of a slump right here, or we could be completely out of a slump right here, right? I'd love to get this thing updated, but I only use this as an illustration, right? When the market increases, there's more competition. When the market increases, competition comes back, right? This is where you want to be to buy a house. That's perfect timing as an investor, but you never know, right? We could be right here. You can say, oh, this is the slump that I've been waiting for. I'm going to buy, and then poof, crash. You just don't know. So when the market's coming down, you see a lot of competition. When the market's at its peak, you see more competition. And then all of a sudden the market slows down. These are the great times to buy when we're sliding down. Okay. Let's see where we are with that. That's why I'm saying we've passed the trough, right? We're past that trough. Now, this is the number of units for inventory. We're way away. Our inventory is, these are the number of sales, right? These are the number of actual sales that are coming in. Let me see if I can bring this down really quick. Okay. So these are the number of sales. It's not that the market is slowing down. There's houses are still selling. I just proved that to you, right? We're having 175 closes, 50 closes. This is because of 4th of July week, right? So 74 is about normal. Hang on a sec. Let me do this real quick. So yeah, about 100 to 75 houses sold per week. 85, 67. So the average is 58. Closes on average last year was 100. So it's because the inventory has nothing to do with volume, has nothing to do with the confidence of the market. It has nothing to do with lack of sales. Houses are still selling. I can tell you that because it's taking 16 days to sell on average versus last year, 22. Now, this year, we were coming out of the slump, so that number on average will be a little bit higher. But I think we're out of the slump because, look, we've been inverted for the last couple of weeks, right? I think you're going to see these numbers grow as normal, right? So let's see if I can do that real quick. Contact auto emails. Oh, no. You know what? I'll get to this next week. I'll show it to you next week. All right. Well, there you go. 30 minutes of fun. I was hoping one of my other lender friends would come on and talk, but that's okay. I know we did a lot of 3 things you need to know, so I apologize for that. But here's the thing. Those are going to be great little sound bites for for other content coming through. So tomorrow we're talking about inventory watch across the U.S. We'll have a lot of information there too. I'm Vito Scarnecchia with Abitano. We'll see you out there.